G'day Kiwis and all wrestling fans, especially Wrestling Collectibles New Zealand fans. WWE Hall of Famer here, Bushwhacker Luke. The bloody good news is that on November the 7th, I will be on Chat with Wrestlers via Facebook Live for Q&A and selling and signing photos, action figures, t-shirts, WWE comic books, 2015 Hall of Fame rings, and Bushwhacker Hall of Fame belts, all signed by me and shown to you right there on Facebook Live. Kiwis, I am very excited about talking to you live in my home country, New Zealand. So remember, November the 7th, mark that down now and keep tuned for time of day. See you then, mateys. Oh yeah, whoa, yay!
All right, so welcome everyone to another members interview. Today we have the man who has kind of revitalized wrestling collecting in New Zealand for those elite collectors. We have Logan from Pop Guardian.
Hey team, how you going?
I'm sure everyone's going good. I'm sure everyone's got a few different questions to ask you. I know we have. I'm sorry, Mal. I'm gonna butcher your name, so I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna say we got T here. We got Alex watching silently. He hasn't commented anything. I know that. And we got a few other people here watching as well. So for anyone who doesn't know, what is Pop Guardian?
So it started all from protectors. So protecting these things here, pops. Oh, there it is in front of the camera. So it's literally these on the outside. There was obviously a gap in the market where our collectibles weren't being protected, and they get damaged, all sorts of stuff like that. So I ended up starting up a small business here in New Zealand, selling them, and they've kicked off and it's really burst to life. So I started last year, the 1st of January last year, and then I started up the actual website August of last year, and then I started selling my first non-protector February 14th, 2020.
Wow.
And
you haven't really been going all that long.
Not for figures, mate. Not for anything other than protectors on the website. I literally have gone from protectors to everything that's on there now in about not even 6 months. Wow.
I guess that's where the name Pop Guardian came about, because you're trying to guard all the pop.
Exactly. Yeah, we were trying to protect the pops, and then all of a sudden we're selling gaming and everything now. So it's really shot off. But I'm going to stick with the name. That's what I'm known for. That's who I'm known as. So we're gonna keep with it and go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking from personal experience, sometimes rebranding can actually damage you more than help you. So it's sometimes easy just to stick with it. It still identifies with the collecting aspect. So you might as well.
You never know with stuff like for stuff like your figures, for the WWE figures and stuff like that. Hey, you never know. Protectors could come in for them, and if you guys are keeping them in box, we might be able to get protectors for your figures. And it's better. Even I know it protects them from full damage, but it also protects them from dust. Dust damage. If you can get UV protective, protectors, then sun damage is narrowed down, not completely taken out.
Yeah.
And you can get different thicknesses and everything. I sell multiple different thicknesses and hard cases and stuff like that. I mean, you asked me about the loose figure. You know what I mean? So hey, if I can get inbox ones where you can protect your inbox ones, it just makes them that much more valuable in the future. If they, you don't have to worry about when you move house. Oh, I have to bubble wrap, or I got to double box them. I got to do all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
that's literally me right there.
Yeah, right there. That's a classic example. And if it was protected, you would just have that much more. You'd feel more at ease that they're at least protected. And if they're by a company, a reputable company, it's you feel safe.
Yeah. Exactly. That's like what I was saying earlier on. Can't remember who it was now, but there was a thread made asking if we're going to get them in the warehouse and stuff. And I'm like, I'd much rather support you, because already you've shown that you kind of care about this wrestling community. opposed to the warehouse and stuff, which has just been giving us the same bloody Roman Reigns or Dude Love figure for the past year and a half now.
You've got to keep up to date. You know what I mean? You do, like, and that's the other thing. You know, like a lot of other, you know, businesses are behind, or they just don't know what they want to buy, and they don't know what to buy. And you know, the community, you can see it in posts. They tell them, they're like, we want this, but you know, the big ones just don't look at that. You know, they probably have dedicated social media people, but those social media people have no influence on what they buy. You know, they're buyers in the end of the day, ones that have the credit card, and they're not the ones that are looking at the social media. So there'll be a disconnect, obviously, always. Whereas even if this company grew bigger, I would still always want to be looking over what's going on, you know. And if I had buyers in the future, I'd be like, did you see that comment? Because that person right there, they know what they're talking about because they're part of the community, you know. And it's how it works, you know what I mean? Like the community is the ones buying, so you've got to be able to cater for those people.
100%. Well, I mean, I shared with you all those feedback forms that we done within the group when it was a lot smaller. We actually sent that to all those big companies, and we just got the new thing we got was top talents or top picks or whatever it was, and they were literally just leftovers from United States that people would have already got because they'd been out for about a year and a half or so.
Yeah,
and so like, you know, I mean, I've shared all that with you, obviously, because you've shown interest in trying to get stuff for us. So that data, I guess you'd call it, would be quite beneficial, I'd say.
Oh, definitely it is, and the fact that you've got other people as well, like through your page, telling me, you know, we want this, can you get this, you know, and it's just like, if I can get it, and nobody else in New Zealand has ever had it, then you know that's a step in the right direction. Because it means that you guys can get your figures and not have to pay retail in America to get it shipped here. And then you never know if customs are going to slap you because even they don't know what the limit is. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
They're slapping you with money here, and then you buy something else, and all of a sudden they're not slapping you there. It's like, well, you know, what's the actual limit, or what? Why did I get hit with dollars
and
here?
then I remember when there was such a time as you only get hit with tax on import stuff if you're going to be reselling it, and if it's for personal use, you don't get taxed. And then these days, it's like you get something in and you're definitely not selling it, you get taxed, and you're just like, well, what the heck?
Yeah. No. You know, I've had some things that you know, come in, and you know, it's over what I thought was the cap, and I didn't get paid for it. And then, you know, something that comes in under the cap and I get paid for it. And it's like, well, why that one and not this one? You know, what's the, you know, it's just, they don't even know, you know, they don't know. So but that's what happens. You know, if you're buying from overseas, you're risking getting smacked with a bill. It's just how it works.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
If I can get them in and collectors can get their hands on them, that is a positive for me. It makes me happy that you guys can actually get this, you know, all these items and not have to worry about having to buy them from overseas, because it's stressful. It really is.
Yeah, well, especially with, I'm not sure if you've heard about the recent cancellation with the AEW line of that first initial bring out for everyone pretty much down under. And like, for example, myself personally, I had a second set on pre-order with another company. Alex had a set on pre-order, and it just all got cancelled. And now we're sitting there like, well, shit, now we got to go to eBay and spend like $400 or $500 to get them.
See, and that's frustrating.
Yeah,
no, it happens. I must admit that will probably one day happen. But it's, you know, and even like, I can put a date on my website. You know, I'd say these figures are going to be here in October. You know, that's like a date that I've been given from the supplier, but then and that's the date my supplier's been given from a manufacturer. But then the manufacturer might not be able to release them, which seems to be what's happened to these AEW figures, where they're literally underproduced the demand, and so they've had to pull them from a region that, you know, a region that probably wasn't as high in sales as whatever region they've actually given them to, which is frustrating because there are collectors.
Exactly. I mean, especially for this business that now has to go through 500 plus different orders and figure out what the hell they got to do with them.
Yeah, well, they're going to have a lot of annoyed customers, that's for sure. Like, I would just be, what do I do? You know, like, I mean, I'd be upset upset because you guys didn't get your figures, but at the same time it would be annoying because you got to go through and you got to process all those orders again, and if they took your money, they've got to refund it all, and who knows, they've put that money into more, something else already, and so now they're going to have to
exactly. It could make or break a business, right? Something as size as that.
Yeah, and then what can you do? Because AEW, they're not going to care about a company having to dip into their own pockets. You spend the money.
Yeah,
sweet as. But I mean, it happens. You know what I mean? And you just got to hope that they come available so that we can get them in, which would be good.
Yeah. So as this is a collectibles chat, what do you personally collect? We can kind of see a little bit of it behind you.
You can see my Funko Pops. So I have I've got the Big Bang Theory set there, and I've got just below it you can see there's a Breaking Bad set as well. So that's a big part of my collection is Funko Pops. Obviously, it's that's something I do. I've got a life-size Yoda plush, just here. I've got a lot of different nerdy things, the Black Ops 3 Juggernaut fridge is just over here, and
oh wow.
Yeah, and I've got here's one of the little coasters from it. I've got 1/6 statues, Harry Potter wands from Harry Potter World. Gosh, what else?
I suppose it'd be very hard ordering all this stuff and not have any of it yourself, right?
Oh, dude, it's so hard to be able to order all this stuff and not take any for myself. But I think at the same time, like, it's good because I'm buying it and I have it here for a short while, and then then I put it on, and then it kind of feels like I had it. You know what I mean? I usually buy stuff that I really want. You know what I mean? I try to have one of everything that I sell,
right?
Just so that I can identify with the customer. Like they're like, hey, have you seen these figures before? And I can actually be like, yes, I have one.
Right.
With the wrestling figures, obviously, I haven't had any come into New Zealand yet. But when they do, I'll probably pick out one that I actually like. And then and then go from there. I guess if it builds into a collection, how it builds into a collection. Those boxes look amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I've even seen a Power Rangers set before, all lined up on its side. With all the different coloured Power Rangers. So I mean, if the WWE ones look anything like that, then you never know. Might have a whole series of them just lined up nicely in the background here.
Yeah, then we'll have to do another one of these interviews when it comes to that.
Imagine, and then I'm like, oh, now I'm collecting these figures, because at one point I was going to get the Funko WWE Pops,
Right.
But the line is massive. It's
so
100 pops.
Obviously, as a kid, I had figures and whatnot, but what got me back into actually collecting was the Funko line. And I had quite a bit of those WWE ones, and then I realized there were these things called WWE Elites, which actually looked like the people, and I kind of started dabbling in both of them at the same time, and my wallet didn't really like it too much, so I kind of decided, do I want the fun looking cartoony one, or do I want the real looking one? And I was like, I'm sorry, Funko. I've still got a couple that I just couldn't get rid of because either one, it took me ages to get, or two, I just really like how it looks. But for the most part, man, my entire WWE Funko collection's gone.
Oh, fair cool. They get massive, eh? These collections are huge. That's why I picked two that probably won't release anymore. Some of them they've been vaulted, except for these ones here. The Breaking Bad set's been vaulted since 2014. Touch wood that they don't bring out anymore. And then, these ones here weren't, were 2013. So, I was like, yes, okay, sweet as. And then, 2017, they bring out a whole new line. And it's like, oh, man, but I'm getting them when they're at retail now. So it's not really too much of an issue. Whereas you go back and click those older ones, even some of the WWE ones, they're like $700. And that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be getting into that.
Yeah, so for me personally, when I collect wrestling figures, I've been trying to get every single Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy WWE Elite.
Mm-hmm.
And so last night, me being the sicko that I am, I have to get everything one mental card and one loose. So last night, I spent $200 in New Zealand, thankfully, on a big 2-pack, which is literally off the screen size, and a single figure, which are both very hard to get. But $200 just like that, and they're probably going to be opened up too because I've already got their Minton card.
Oh man,
But that's just the sicko in me there.
I get into that, I'm like, nah, I tap out of box stuff. Hey, I don't know, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Anymore, anyway.
So what we were talking about, you kind of choosing a couple that you may put into your collection from the wrestling line. Let's bring a couple of these photos up of the ones you're bringing in. So first off, we got Elite 77, which is the SummerSlam set. Are you familiar with any of these wrestlers?
Yes, I do know. Oh, I know Ronda, of course.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know Ronda? You know
exactly. So from the top left, we got Viscera, we got Ronda Rousey, and then we got Rick Rude with the robe. And then the scary looking thing in the bottom left corner, that's the Fiend. And then we got AJ Styles and Miss Elizabeth. Is there any on there that you would consider getting?
I would. The Fiend would be sweet. I love that head lantern. I must admit, I'm a sucker for that. That looks cool.
Okay, so Fiend's probably your pickup from that one.
Probably for sure.
And I'm pretty sure this is a bit of a mix-up picture here now that I look at it. But at the top left, the really buff-looking guy of the white trunks, that's Matt Riddle. In the middle next to him, we got Drake Maverick. And in the female, we have Naomi. Right underneath Naomi there with the title, we have R-Truth, and then Kofi Kingston, Superstar Billy Graham, and then Big E. Out of there, who would you look at getting?
Naomi.
If anyone. Naomi?
Naomi, yeah. Especially if that glow came in, because that would be sick.
Yeah.
With the stuff that I did get, like for those of you that are watching that may have ordered Naomi, for the stuff that I did get, it's a chance of it. They can't guarantee me one. But if they do that, and I do get one, it will be randomly selected to a person. Now I am sold out, so I
just
can't.
when you get Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly chases, just make sure you randomize it to me.
Yeah, well, if I get chases, they will literally be randomized. What I may do is I may. You know, if it's say one went to you and then the other one went to you, I don't know if I'd be able to live with myself giving you two. You know what I mean? I'd like to split them up.
Yeah, that would be a bit suspicious, wouldn't it? Especially after me just saying that.
I mean, at the same time, it's random, you know, and I could even video myself doing it randomly. To show everyone that it is random. But yeah, if I do get it, then they will be random. But at the same time, they are, you know, I'm pretty sure those ones will sold out. So if you want the standard one as well, then yeah, we'll have a look at that. Like restocks and things like that, hopefully shouldn't be a problem. But I want to get all these ones here first, so that they're they're here, ship them all out, and we go from there for what more people want.
Exactly, and by the time the ones that you've already ordered do arrive, you'll have a fair idea of what's still needed because people's overseas orders would have arrived that probably were already ordered before you came on the scene. You'll have a fair idea by how many messages you're getting about can you get this, can you get that again. So you'll have a very, very good idea of what you really need to reorder, if anything out. I mean, I know there will be some things you need to reorder, but if anything out of what you've already kind of got available.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, it'll happen. It'll happen.
Exactly.
Sure. And once the rest of the next lots of series come out, I'll keep up with them. You know, once 81 is released and I can buy it, it'll be up. You know, and usually I have it up the same day I get told about it, which is the same day you guys get told about it. So
yeah,
then it's just seamless, and then people go on, they order what they want. But the next one, you know, obviously now I know what the demand is, and I'm sure there's more because, like you said, people have already ordered overseas. They won't be bothered cancelling them. They'll just stick with them and then come next time. You know, I'll hopefully make sure that I have enough for everybody because, it's hard to gauge at the moment. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what though, it was actually good fun having to kind of race for these figures online, rather than just being able to go to the good old Ringside Collectibles and take your time. You can have a couple of months if you want to. It was like, no, if you want them, you got to get your ass online at 7 o'clock.
See, and that's thing. Like, I'm sure a lot of these people that were ordering, didn't know, hasn't been on my site before, but it's usually what happens because it's stuff that just, we don't get here in New Zealand. So usually it sells out quickly. There's lots of examples that I could use, but already the WWE is a good one, and what happens. But hopefully next time it won't be it won't be sub 5 minutes. It'll be like, you could sit on it for an hour and actually think about what you do really, really want. Without everything.
All I'm saying is that it saved me some money because there was a couple of figures I had on there that I was like umming and ahhing about, and then I went to buy it, they were sold out, and I was like, sweet, that makes the decision up for me.
Well, that's the next thing. No one knows about this yet, so this will actually be the first time I'll be talking about this. But I am setting up a new app. It's a new pre-order one where you don't have to pay for it all up front. You just pay a deposit. The deposit, obviously, it's a non-refundable deposit, but what it means is that you only pay, say, I think it's going to be 20% of the actual total, and then you pay the rest when it's in. So that way is then you're not getting absolutely stung, and you can go through and order more figures for, obviously you can order more, and then if you want to later cancel one or two, it's not a huge hit to you at the start. If you want $700 worth of figures, and then by the time they come in, you only want $500 worth of figures, then you would just, cancel the other 200, but it wouldn't be a huge hit to you.
I suppose that would be a lot more helpful for you as well with gauging what you kind of need to order.
Exactly. Yeah. So it'll be literally, it won't be an infinite amount of figures put up, but it will be enough to hopefully cater. And hey, if they sell out, that's just the
that's just the game. That's just the game.
There will be a limit, but there will be more figures put on there. So then I can go through and be like, right, 13 of that sold, 10 of that sold, 2 of that sold, 1 of that sold, 6 of that sold. And then you can actually go through and see what I've ordered and against those numbers, and that will really help me in the future to know what people actually want.
Would you consider like when something's sold out, adding it to like a wish list type thing, so then you can email people when they're coming back in stock?
Yes, so that will be all a part of this.
Cool.
If they come back in stock, or if I can restock them, that would obviously, definitely be an opportunity. It's just about figuring out how these apps work within the Shopify guidelines. There's just so many different. Shopify is like an apps store, like you're adding apps all the time. So you got to figure out which ones communicate well together and which ones actually work for your store. I've gotten rid of plenty, and I've added others, and that do a better job than the 3 that were previously used. And if you can just do it with 1, it's better. So but yes, in theory, yes, that will happen in the future for sure.
That's awesome. Hey, guys, if at any time throughout our chat here you've got a question, just fire it into the chat. I'm looking out for questions, but I'm not seeing any. Hey, Waiheke, but you might be gone now because I also see that you said you're going to go back to work. But he also says thanks for assisting WWE collectors with an easier and smoother access to figures.
Oh, no worries, man.
And T says that his son started with a Mandalorian pop.
Yeah, man. They grow super quickly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the key with pop vinyls, which I tell everybody, is do not go into EB Games and just buy every single pop you see. Buy the ones that you love. If you don't love it in the store, don't buy it.
Yeah. That's a good way to go with anything you collect, really.
100%.
So, are you currently, or were you ever, a wrestling fan?
I have watched wrestling before. I've also played like SmackDown versus Raw. But if you were to talk to me, if you were to talk to me about wrestling, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know it as well, obviously as well as you guys. But I mean, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be on the top of my like sports that I could talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know like The Rock and Ronda and I know basics about wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I couldn't say that I'm a huge fan like you guys.
Would it be fair to say, enough to start the conversation, but not keep it going?
Yeah. I could be like, hey, mate, did you see The Rock in the Ring back in the 90s? And then,
Yeah.
yeah, you'd be like, yeah, bro, did you know about this, this, and this? And I'd be like, yeah. So I could start the combo, but I certainly couldn't finish it, man.
For sure.
Oh.
So, have we exceeded your expectations with the order power behind WWE kind of collectibles?
Yes, hugely yes. When Nicholas first approached me, he gave me his idea on what would sell, and how many would sell, and it blew past those numbers. So it really did. It blew past those numbers, and even the restock, it blew past the restock numbers. So yeah, I know. And so I'm like, okay, so we grossly underestimated this, what people were wanting. But the thing I guess I didn't figure out or think about was the fact that these have never been sold in New Zealand before, and that was probably something on my part that I should have really thought about, was the fact that he's approaching me because the warehouse are the ones that sell them, and they're 10 series behind. So
probably even more, to be honest, now.
Yeah, and you know what, and it was my bad on it was my bad on my part, because I didn't. He was telling me what the numbers were, and I was like, okay, well, Nicholas should know because he collects these. You know what I mean? And you would know as well. But what I didn't think of was, these figures aren't here. And I guess even with Series 77, I was a bit hesitant myself. In terms of the Series 77, because I was like, well, this has been released, it's actually in stock, my suppliers, so I wouldn't be surprised if that shipped out next week.
Oh, wow.
So with the 77, I'm like, well, they've been released before, so are they really going to sell? And they did. They're gone.
Yeah.
And not all of them, but most of them are gone.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, well, once they do get here, is there anybody else that wants 77? And if they do, again, they're in stock with my supplier, so they will ship very quickly, which is fantastic. So yes, in terms of your question, yes, it is exceeded hugely. But the good thing is that you guys managed to get your figures, and that's all this company is about, is the community.
For sure. Because me, myself, Alex, and Ruben were having a chat the other day about how far back we kind of think series would sell in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, even if you went back probably 10 series, you'd probably still sell them out, especially if you only got like one case or something. They'd probably still sell out just for the fact that they haven't been in New Zealand.
Well, I can say that I can get back as far as 75. Like, yes, okay, there is 66, but that is temporarily not available. So for me, I can get as far back as 75 and it be in stock by October, or September maybe, or October. Yeah, October. Gosh, we're in September now. That's crazy. So October is when I could get 75 onwards. And then I think 79 comes in October as well, and then 80 comes in November, and then obviously we await 81
further.
The future.
Because something you're always welcome to do is set up a poll in the group with what's in an older series and say, out of these, what would you be interested in buying? If you ever want to do like a market research or whatever to see if it would sell.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe I will. If people need 75 and 76, then I'm more than happy to get them. You know what I mean? It's not a burden to get them. If people need those figures and they don't want to buy them from overseas for double the price, then I am absolutely more than happy to get them.
That's cool. I'll get to your thing in a second, Ruben. That's just made me laugh. T goes, do you manufacture the protectors locally or overseas?
I get them from overseas.
Yeah.
So yeah, overseas, 100%.
Yeah.
Locally.
And he also sorry to cut you off. He also says there's a missing market in Masters of the Universe as well.
Masters of the Universe. Oh, okay. I have actually Masters of the Universe. I have seen somebody talk about Masters of the Universe actually. So, yeah,
T,
maybe.
why don't you send him a message after on the Facebook page?
Yeah, definitely. If it's
you guys can have a chat.
Popular, then yeah, I have seen something about Masters of the Universe, and I don't know where I saw it, but yeah, there's a lot of. Hey, look, T, there is a lot of missing stuff in New Zealand, my friend.
Yeah,
that nobody gets. So,
yeah,
like I was talking to Matt before, it's honestly the buyers. If we're going to be honest, the buyers just not great. Matt, I think Matt was talking about it before. We just get thrown the fish bait. You know, we get the bottom of the barrel stuff in Australia, which is sad because there are a lot of collectors here. You know, they obviously, you know, America, yes, yep, sweet. They've got all the they've got heaps of collectors, but then there's 300 million people there, whereas over here there's not. Ratio of collectors would probably be the same if I'm honest, because people in Australia and New Zealand actually, you know, they love their collecting. So the ratio, even though there's no way we'd have the same amount of people. We know how many would we have? Like 30 million, you know, versus 300 in one country. You know, we still probably have the same amount of collecting power, and it's a shame that they disregard our our region over others when, you know, we clearly will buy it. You know, it's not going to actually around, which is why I started and why I get in what I get in and why I do what I do, because, you know, we shouldn't be left behind. And, you know, it doesn't take much. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much.
What is kind of the future for Pop Guardian, would you say? Obviously, you don't have to tell us your entire business plan unless you want to, but what are you envisioning like the next 5-10 years or so?
Well, look, I'd love to be the size of Mighty Ape, but the problem with being that size is there's a lot involved in the size of Mighty Ape. And to be honest, like, look, if I go onto their website, I wouldn't want to sell everything that's out.
Yeah.
Right now, you know, and you've got to have a warehouse. You know, there's costs. You know, you got to have people. You got to have lots of people to run a company that size. You know what I mean? But you know, they obviously will be making the income that they do as well to be able to support that. So for me, I started off as a community business.
Yeah.
Listening, you know, customers come first. You know, you guys hopefully received an email from me that, you know, was saying thank you for purchasing from my store, whether you're a first-time customer or whether you're a repeat customer. So, you know, I like to show that I actually appreciate that you guys, you know, supporting me, and you know, hopefully we can, you know, continue in the future. So for me, I do want to stay as a community business. You know, people say side hustle. I don't really see it as that as much. And the more that I get in, the more it doesn't, the more time it takes up. And then it starts becoming the main hustle, but isn't as massive as these other businesses, you know. And hey, in the future, I'd love to have a storefront. That would be fantastic. I do want to make every single Armageddon in New Zealand that's run, because I've just done the Christchurch one, and it was amazing. And the amount of people that came up to the stall and loved it and gave me kudos for doing what I'm doing was just huge. And hey, look, to be honest, at the Armageddon, it was not a wrestling. It was not an action figures show. If you were a pop vinyl fan, that was the show for you right there, because they were just pops for days. Next year, I'm going to have a bookcase size of action figures, and, you know, depending on how the months line up for when they get released, say
Yeah.
WWE, say Elite Series 83 comes out in May next year, I may end up launching 83 at Christchurch Armageddon, not on the website, at Christchurch Armageddon, which means that if you really want those figures, you'll come down. They'll obviously be on the website later, but if you want them early, you got to go there. You know what I mean? But and that
awesome.
that might happen for all the shows though, you know, because Auckland's later on in the year. They might have 85, so I'll release them at Auckland.
And then it gives you kind of that American convention feel as well, having it done like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I did with Pop Finals this year. So I released a whole bunch of Grails. Grails are more expensive pops, for example. Like one of these. Like here, this is a convention exclusive, 1,008 piece. You know, and you know that's like $250. So I released a whole bunch of those at the Armageddon this year, and people literally came to my stand the first minute to start buying them all up because they had to be at Christchurch. And I had people buying for people that were in Auckland and Tauranga and Dunedin. People were traveling from the West Coast to come over to Christchurch to buy these figures. You know, they literally went there. And it gives them that exclusive feel that you could come to. So where are you based? You're in Auckland?
I'm in Auckland.
You're in Auckland, yeah. So if I released 85 in Auckland, you can be like, hey, guys, check it out. I got the new Elite Series 85. I feel good. You know what I mean? And it's a great feeling because you got it first out of everybody. And then everybody's like, oh, okay, I'll wait for them to go up on the website. But it's not the same because you got them from Armageddon and it felt good. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to start doing is releasing stuff like that at these conventions, gets people down. And it just it makes the whole thing a good feel because now you're like, I've gone to Armageddon, I've actually managed to get the figures and stuff, and it's like that. And so that's the future of the business. It is literally, it's literally a community business, my man. Like if I can get in the figures that people want, I will feel fulfilled every single day, being able to get people what they want rather than getting stuck with the you know.
Hey, I'm sure if you need help at any of those Armageddons, wherever it is in the country, there'll be someone in the group that'll come give you a hand.
Oh, mate, literally, I'm opening up for volunteers for next year because I found the stand that I had was not big enough, so I have to go bigger. And more stuff that I'm getting in has to go on a bigger stand. I don't know. This year it was 3x3. Next year it's going to definitely be 6x3, but it could be 9x3. So I'm going to need people to go into the stand, and I want collectors. I want people. You know, I want the average person to come on in, and then one of you guys go, oh, hey, have you seen the WWE? And just start talking about them, and they'll be like, this is so knowledgeable. What?
Well, I mean, passion sells, right? There's no point getting Bill from down the road who's maybe watched a wrestling match once in his life to try and sell you the latest Xavier Woods figure with his own custom belt, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to be opening up literally a volunteer thing next year. It'll be next year when the first Christchurch one goes. I haven't decided how many Armageddons I'm going to, but at Christchurch I'll definitely be there, and I will literally have collectors in my stand that know what they're talking about, enjoy collecting, because once you get a passionate person in there, they can sell you. They can sell you anything, but they can talk to you about anything as well, which is what makes it so cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
so I've been asked to put the Elite Series that you can go as far back to get up on the screen for people to see. Thankfully, Alex has done some backstage work for me and put them up. So this is, I'm not sure which series. I think this was 75. So this is the one that I actually mentioned to you that I reckon would sell out very quick.
Yeah.
And the two that would maybe be your sitters would be Kalisto and maybe Mandy Rose. But then again, that's Mandy Rose's first figure, so probably just Kalisto. Yeah, like that Pete Dunne, that's one of the only ways to get that title belt, so that'll sell real quick. Jeff Hardy's, I mean, I'll buy every single one if they don't sell out. But anyway, that Hurricane has a chase version, so people will go crazy for that. Seth Rollins always sells, so I mean that sets fire. And then you got 76 here. You see that Otis figure?
Yeah.
So
He's
that
quite cool.
alone in the States was selling for like 80 US.
Wow.
So I mean, if you're selling them for 40, even if you wanted to bump that one up to 50 or whatever, you'd sell that quickly. Hey, that
You'll
whole
see
set.
You'll see one thing with me that I'm going to be honest about here is that even if it sells for more somewhere else, it will be exactly retail in New Zealand. I don't care if it's selling for 100. That's not the price I set it at, and that's about being a community business. You know, you can't.
That's awesome.
You don't want to, that's what I call a flipper.
Yeah.
I put a dolphin GIF flipping.
Yeah.
So literally, even if it's selling for 80 US, and I'm like, oh, I could profiteer off this big time. That is profiteering, and I'm not going to do that.
For sure.
I'm just letting. Yeah, that's something that I definitely won't be doing. So it will be 40 if they're all 40, unless it costs me more.
Yeah.
It'll be $40.
That's awesome. Just another quick thing. Well, you see that Braun Strowman down the bottom here. This is more for everyone that's listening, because I know you're not the biggest WWE fan. That Andre the Giant memorial trophy is the only one that you will ever see with Matt Hardy's name on it, because he got released. So if you ever want to have the most current Andre the Giant memorial trophy, you need that Braun Strowman figure. We've got some comments happening. 75, the one with Jeff Hardy, Matt. Thinking face, yep, definitely. Peter asks, first Alex says definitely get 75 and 76 in. So I guess he'll buy them all off you if no one else does anyway. Bit of a big one from Peter here, but Peter asks, what are the chances of ordering a pop through you guys that were advertised to come out to New Zealand, but then Funko backed off and said they won't send them to New Zealand because the pop was a Walmart exclusive? He put pre-orders through EB Games and only got the pops except for the one of his pre-orders, I guess the exclusive one he didn't end up getting.
What's the pop is the question, I guess.
Yes, Peter, give us a reply of whatever the pop is. Alex said road trip, so I guess he's going to all your Armageddons. And he goes, Matt, that's us for Armageddon next year. So yeah, definitely, I'll be there. Whether it's as a volunteer or as a buyer.
I'd love to go as to the Auckland one. I really would. I looked at the prices this year, and they were astronomical. Crazy.
Well, you don't have to say nothing to me. Me and my old man had a gyro ride. Do you know what that is?
A what was that?
A gyro ride, like an amusement ride. So like, you know those spinny things that the NASA people are on? Yeah, we had one of those basically. And we were going to try and get it into Armageddon because it was all themed like like sci-fi and all that stuff. And yeah, to put that in there, they wanted like 15,000 or something.
What?
It was ridiculous. And it's like, we're going to have to do like 20,000 rides to even make our money back.
That's crazy, man. No way.
Yeah.
No. I looked at it and it was
like, unfortunately, unless you're one of the massive companies like EB Games or whatever the big amusement ride companies are, then you kind of just get pushed to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
At Auckland.
Yeah, you do. Well, it happens at Christchurch as well. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted more for, especially when they halved the amount of vendors. You know, you would have thought how they might upgrade our spaces. You know, just for everyone to have a bit more space.
Yeah.
But no, they just made the laneways bigger. And to be fair, it was nice having wider laneways. You know, people weren't as crammed, so it felt good. But
I definitely felt that last year with Auckland. I wasn't feeling like I was a sardine.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't in the Christchurch one. You could walk around. It was so spacious and it felt really good. But it also lost that aura, I guess, of all the smaller companies who couldn't afford to make it.
Yeah.
Or, because a lot of really small companies dropped off. And I fear that those people struggled through COVID and may have just shut down altogether, which is unfortunate. But then at the Christchurch one, we didn't even see Mighty Ape, and they're a sponsor of that event, which I thought was very strange.
Yeah.
And that, they should have been there. If you're a sponsor of an event, you should be there, regardless.
Definitely.
It cost you $100,000. you were sponsoring that event. So yeah, which was unfortunate. But I mean, I guess it was good for the other businesses like Pop Stop and even Car Merchant came down from Auckland. Kudos to them. They actually came. So well done to them.
I also guess the bad thing about someone like Mighty Ape not coming down is there might be someone going there specifically just to go see Mighty Ape that didn't go there and ended up not finding something awesome from your store or whichever other store, because obviously they were already there, so they were going to have a look around. So
but then at the other end of it, they came and they found Mighty Ape weren't there, and then they were like, okay, so what other stores are there? And may have something. But see, that's the thing that I would go back to with the action figures, is that a lot of people commented later saying there were no action figures there, and I 100% agree with them that there wasn't. For me, I would have, but COVID really has screwed up the timeline of things, because a lot of stuff comes from America, and unfortunately over there it is not like it is here. Obviously people have to realize that it's not because it's really bad over there, and it's really bad in Europe, and it's really bad everywhere but here.
We're very lucky. We're very lucky.
Yeah, and all the tiny little islands that nobody's heard about, those are the places that are good. Everywhere else is horrendous, and it's really pushed back shipping and all sorts. I have things sitting in America for 60 days before they even move, and we're talking, and this is at San Francisco. It's not a small airport that it's stuck at somewhere major, and that's because that's just how much stuff they've got for the amount of staff that are on, because they have to be working at level 4 restrictions for us, where there's only like 3 people packing the plane rather than 50. So it's just how it is. Yeah. Oh,
exactly. Carl, who was doing the Elite 77 Raz, his stuff was stuck in Melbourne for like 8 weeks or something.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. But same thing, Melbourne's worse than us. So
yeah, well, and the whole of Victoria is shut down, and that's where I get my protectors from. They come through there, and mine have been stuck there for 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure that. Oh no, they are. They should be in New Zealand by now. Thank God. But I thought, I was expecting them to be here before mid-August, and we're now in September, so it looks like it's a month behind. Yeah, we're about the 3 weeks that it was stuck there.
But I guess with you being very transparent, and I'm sure people can see that from this interview, people are more than happy to wait that extra month or 6 weeks or whatever it may be to get those items, because they know that you're not doing it to make money. You're doing it to really just help them get their stuff.
Yeah, and now and it's great, because they should. I want to prove to them that it's coming as well. A lot of people, they see me talking about it on my Facebook page, and they see me talking about it in comments and stuff like that, but they haven't seen the goods. Now some of those figures are starting to come through. They're starting to see them actually landing. They're like, okay, man, this guy is actually getting them, and his supplier aren't cancelling them like they've done to all these other places. Actually getting them, and I always make it a thing to be, talking with my suppliers and being like, okay, am I getting this or not? Because if I'm not, I need to tell everyone. I need to tell them now. So because
speaking of suppliers cancelling, when do you reckon we may see these in New Zealand? Do you think?
Well, as soon as they get back to me and tell me what's available. Obviously, I did see that they screwed up Wave 1, and that Wave 2 is going to be released before they re-release Wave 1 with skin tones. So I'd rather have the second wave, because it actually has the fake tan, as you were talking about. So as soon as they get back to me, I will pester them, email all the different emails that they have, if that's what it takes to find out an answer. Whether they have a supplier over this side of the world is one question. If they don't, and it's directly from them, then fantastic. I'll be in touch with them, and they'll get me in touch with someone who can help me. So I don't know when, but hopefully before the end of this year, I should hopefully have an answer before the end of this month, if they get back to me.
Well, there you go, guys. There's a bit of good news for you, even though we've had a lot of shit news regarding the AEW stuff in the last 24 hours. Ruben says, loving your passion for this, Logan. It's clear that you're doing this for all the right reasons.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Ruben.
Alex says, don't tell him to put the prices up, Matt.
I won't. I promise, mate. I promise it will stay at retail unless the price for me to buy it is higher. You won't see the figure price go up. That's the.
And don't worry, guys. I was only saying that because I just me and Logan had a chat for about 15, 20 minutes beforehand, and just from that you can tell the type of person he is. So I only said that because I knew he wouldn't. Can you get your hands on Walmart and Target exclusives?
Is this in terms of figures?
We'll say figures and or pops.
To an extent, yes, but not to the extent that you guys probably want them. Sometimes my supplier does have figures because they've been they haven't sold in America, and because they're an exclusive, what can they do with them? They can't do anything with them. So suppliers get their hands on them because they haven't sold there, and it gets distributed to the rest of the world. Now, if I can get my hands on it straight away, then fantastic. Yes, I can, but otherwise, I'm gonna say a no to that question. So I don't want to get your hopes up. There was one though, and I believe was it Mr. T? I think there was a Mr. T exclusive. Was there?
Yep.
So you think I could have got that. I could have got that Mr. T exclusive, and it was a beautiful box. This thing was amazing.
Oh, do you mean the Elite?
Yes, the Elite Mr. T.
San Diego Comic-Con.
That's the one. Yep, I could have got that.
Oh my god!
If I had got that, if I had been doing the Elite series when that got released to buy, then I would have had that. You know what I mean? And it would have been for Comic-Con price, not what price you'd be paying for it right now. But that is something that I could have got my hands on. So that's just that's the supplier I'm working with. You know what I mean? Like I can get some really cool stuff, and I can get it to you for retail. So
I mean, with those convention elite figures, you can always buy as many as you can get because you know that if for whatever reason we don't buy them, you'll be able to sell them overseas or whatever.
Yes, absolutely. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, New Zealand. I know that there would have been some companies in New Zealand that could have bought those, and they didn't.
Yeah,
they should have. I should have, but then at the time I wasn't doing WWE Elites. Otherwise, I would have. And I would have bought more than I would have got. Heck, I would have ordered like 6 of those bad boys easy because San Diego Comic-Con releases. I mean, damn, I would have had one for myself. That would have been my first figure right there. But it was awesome to be able to get those in for you guys. But hey, guys, next time I can get them, I will get them, and I promise I will.
That's awesome. Because to be fair, I wasn't the biggest fan of that Mr. T. But if I knew that I could get that from a New Zealand supplier, I would have just brought it for the buzz of buying it.
Oh, dude, 100%. And I'll tell you what, that would have been like 10 seconds, mate, gone. Straight right there.
Yeah.
And it's a Comic-Con exclusive, you know what I mean? Like it's awesome.
I mean, to be fair, you'd even have non-wrestling fans trying to buy that just because it's Mr. T.
And we would have non-wrestling fans buying it just because it's in a Comic-Con exclusive. It was supposed to be released in America and it was opened up to the rest of the world. So you know, I would have been I think myself I didn't, but at the time I was doing things. But hey, next time you never know. You never know.
Hey, just the fact that we've even been able to get the recent things that you've put up in New Zealand is insane. Like I can't even remember who I was saying or what I was saying it about. But there was one figure that I was like, man, if you get it, I'm flying down to Christchurch, finding where your warehouse is and coming to collect it and giving you a massive kiss when I get it, man. I can't even remember what it was now. But I must have already got it if I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, it was ridiculous. So Peter says the exclusive was Bray Wyatt, the Fiend pop. His understanding is that the suppliers in Australia pulled out, but then they said they themselves never received the Fiend pop to supply the local stores. because there was a Amazon exclusive, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
There was an Amazon exclusive, and then I think there was a limited edition or something in the stores in America, something like that. I remember seeing something. Alex Gibson would definitely be able to tell me if he would quickly reply.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean,
well,
that one's been out for a while now, so you'd probably struggle with that, especially being an exclusive.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think I'd be able to get that at retail. You'd probably be best off going to eBay for something like that. I know it's eBay, but then eBay now give you buyer protection, which is fantastic. They will literally refund you if you are short, or it comes damaged or whatever, and then they go after the person selling it. So eBay's gotten a lot better, but it is very expensive to ship.
Yeah, especially when you think it's going to be 100, and then they add GST tax and handling on top of it. You're like, it's like $100 for me now.
When I get the receipt for customs, and it's just like handling fee, servicing fee, this other fee, this other fee, this other fee, and it's just processing fee, and it's just like, what did you process? You just looked at an invoice.
Exactly. Sometimes I look at these things and I'm like, can I just give you my number, and next time it comes in, I'll come do it myself?
Yeah, 100%. I'd fly up to Auckland and do that, man, because those bills are ridiculous. I'll even bring my own high vis for that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I can see why they want to get them through New Zealand Supply, because, man, shipping is horrendous for something that small. You're talking $40 just for one, and that's not ideal, because now you're paying the figure plus figure again just to get it here. And then if it gets damaged, and then you've got that problem. So yeah, I can kind of see. Yeah.
Alex asks if you can get the Super 7 figures for Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. They're former WWE superstars, so they're now like doing their own thing.
Super 7.
Yeah.
He's
gonna have a look online for you.
Who makes them? Is that the? I'm assuming
Super 7 is the toy company.
Is the toy company. And who were the people?
Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, Brian. I don't know that they're on their website right now because the pre-orders come out, I want to say tomorrow.
Yeah.
But based off the fact that the pre-orders come out tomorrow, I'd say it'd be pretty flat to get them sorted before they sold out.
No, definitely. But you never know, because sometimes they sell little bits off to different suppliers. I'll look at it for them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, I guess, Alex, you've already got a running message log with him. Send him a message of what they look like and all that stuff, and he'll see what he can get. T is mind-blowing that you could have got Mr. T.
Yeah, I know. I'm mind-blown I didn't buy it, but if I was collecting them back then, 100%, mate, I would have been onto it.
Yeah. We can confirm that Fiend pop vinyl was an Amazon exclusive.
Yeah, so Amazon exclusives don't come to Australia at all. They have their own thing because they offer international shipping. So you literally have to buy it from Amazon. You can't get them in.
And the good thing is, Peter, is that if it does turn up in a condition that you're not happy with, Amazon generally refunds you the money for it. I haven't ever had an issue with them not refunding me if something's turned up broken, or one time I ordered an Elite figure and they sent me a cricket cup. Don't know how that happened. Don't even look the same. But anyway, and they refunded me and didn't even ask for it back. So not that I have any use for it. T also asked, can you get could you have got Masters of the Universe He-Man from San Diego Comic-Con?
Masters of the Universe He-Man. I didn't see it, so I'm going to say no to that one.
But maybe next year when he's a bit more familiar with it, because he'll probably have to start stocking it in a minute with how many questions we've got. Wink, wink. Alex Gibson also says that the pre-orders for Super 7 is Thursday in the US, and the pre-order is for 1 month.
Wow. See, now that's the thing. So they might have the pre-orders up, and some companies do it like that. I don't know if these guys do, but they may. And they actually do a pre-order and they make it to the order, and then they make more, and then distribute them out to different suppliers. So you could see this pop up somewhere in a month's time, and then they open it up to the rest of the world. It is seen to happen. I can definitely confirm that for sure.
That's cool. Any other questions here, guys? One last question from me, which isn't actually on my list here. But anyway, is there any items that have sold out quicker than what these WWE items have on your store?
Once. I had a big Dragon Ball Z release, and it literally there was about 12 or 14 figures. They were pop vinyls, and they sold out in a minute, about 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was insane. We're talking a lot of expensive pop vinyls selling out, and it took about 30 seconds. Yeah. But I mean, when I do this stuff, I usually, really build it up, like, well, I'm going to release tomorrow, 7 p.m., be there, you'll see it in my posts and stuff. And I like to be really excited about it because it gets people excited, like, especially if it's something that you can't get. Like these pop vinyls that I put on there, these aren't commons, that you find at the shop. These are literal ones that are vaulted or from America that have the proper set. Like this here is from Target, but it was also debuted at Comic-Con. So this was bought at Comic-Con, and then this one here, it's it's from the Funko shop itself, so these have actually come from America. And
so did you get some Funko shop ones?
Yeah. So I get the Funko shop. Yeah. So
were you ever able to get the Zack Ryder Funko shop one?
What was that? Sorry?
The Zack Ryder Funko shop one. It was a WWE pop vinyl.
Zack Ryder. I don't remember what that one looks like actually. How long ago was
Zack
that?
Ryder was also Matt Cardona, by the way, but Matt Cardona is now not in WWE.
Zack Ryder Funko Pop.
Just real quick, guys, in case this is one of you calling me, I obviously can't answer, but I don't know who this is that's calling me right now. Just in case it's for whatever reason one of you guys.
Number 44. No, see, that one's different because that's a Funko HQ exclusive, which means you actually go to Funko.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember the exact details on that one.
Yeah, so Funko HQ is a lot different. That's like extremely rare. I have to get my American friends to actually go there to get it for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're lining up with a whole bunch of other people that want it. And a lot of those people on the line aren't even WWE collectors. They want it so that they can flip it for triple order for, which is fair enough because I'm sure a lot of people would do that. Because there's an easy $50.
Yeah.
But and that's kind of what you were saying about that other that other WWE figure where you're like, oh, it sells for $80. But once you get it in collectors' hands, then it's $80. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of examples of these things where once they finally get into the collector's hands, that's what drives the price up because the collector is not willing to sell it unless they get their price for it. And then the next person sees, oh man, that person sold it for $100. Okay, now I'm going to sell mine for $120, $130. Then bang, the price goes up, goes up and up and up and up and up. And there's so many examples of, I go back to obviously Funko Pops where they finally get into a collector's hand and nobody wants to let them go unless someone really gives them a freaking amazing offer where they can't refuse it. That's what drives the price up in the end. But with this, see now with you saying that they sell for $80, if this restock is huge, then that's just going to drop the price back down to retail again. I'm sure places like the Big Bad Toy Store and stuff like that will get in these to be able to sell them at retail where people won't then be able to flip them for $80 anymore. They'll be having.
But then you've also got those people that just go into the store, buy all of that one figure, so then they have that supply and demand. So there's always the unfortunate out there.
That works, and that happens, of course, as well. Like I'm sure that people that maybe aren't even on the stream might think the exact same thing. They'll see it and they're like, oh my god, I've seen that sell for $80, and I'm just going to go and buy all of them off him and then chuck them on eBay.
That's the reason why I jumped out of the Hot Wheels collecting game, because it happens all the time. Every single release, there's one car that you can never find on the shelf. So the rest are there, but there's always just one that's been taken by one person.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen with this one, but hopefully I can put enough up to be able to actually hopefully not have that happen. But you just don't know. Don't know on the day.
Are you able to get WWE Legends? They're a Target exclusive.
I'm going to say no, but again, following back from previously, if the supply does come up with them, then I will get them, but I'm not going to promise that I can get them when I, at this current stage, cannot.
Yeah, and so that'd be the same with the Decade of Domination, which is a Walmart exclusive.
It's exactly the same. Yeah. See, because those are American stores, and even like this, that's a Target exclusive. There's Targets in Australia that didn't even get that. So because it's a franchise of Target America is its own entity, and then they franchise it to Aussie and all the other different places around the world. We don't have one in New Zealand, obviously, but except for a furniture store. But for me, like, it's only if it comes up with the supplier. If it doesn't, then it's a no. It's a no-go. Unless I ask American friends to buy them for me, but then you might as well get American friends of your own to buy them for you instead of going through another party.
Yeah.
So,
sure. Yeah. Ruben says that Zack Ryder was only an out of 500 and they all sold out during Zack's signing at Funko that morning.
100%. And see, again, they wouldn't have all been WWE collectors. I guarantee you that they weren't all WWE collectors. No way. There would have been a straight on eBay for triple what they paid for it.
Oh, definitely. Exactly. As soon as they got it in his hand, they probably took a photo real quick with him in the background, and then as they were walking away, uploading it.
It wouldn't have been that. They would have zoomed in on the pops on the table and chucked it straight up like that. They wouldn't have even taken a photo. Being like pre-order because I'm 16th in the line. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as they knew that they were 500, they would have taken photos of it or taken a glam shot online and literally said pre-order because I am 400th in the line, so I'm definitely going to get one.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, this game, it's fun, but it's also, it can be scummy sometimes.
Oh, definitely, and that's kind of what I want to take out of it. New Zealanders are genuinely very good, you don't get those people buying them to flip them, and I mean, you'll get them eventually, wanting to do it, but you can't do anything about it, and as long as most of us stay genuine, then people are going to get what they want.
Any other questions here, guys, before we finish it up? I told Logan would be an hour or an hour 10 right now, so
it's all good. I'm happy to answer people's questions. Do you have any more in your
no, I'm just looking through and I think we got all of them, really. Got them all.
Sweet.
Hopes. We pretty much covered your initial hopes at the store and all that. Initial response when Nicholas reached out. They're all pretty much there. I guess another question could be, would you ever touch the WWE Basic line, which is already in like the bigger stores?
I have, my account manager did talk to me about them. Because my store has been put into the high growth section of many of my suppliers because they what they do is they watch you and they see what your achievements have been, whether you're selling out, whether you're reordering more. What would have helped me was the fact that I got in the top 4 for New Zealand and Australia for Afterpay.
Oh, wow.
Quarter-on-quarter sales for Afterpay. So that's just
Alex will be helping you out to get to number 1.
Yeah, and hey, I hope I'm in the next quarter-on-quarter sale. So that was that there is the biggest achievement for my company so far, is that in the short amount of time I've had Afterpay, I've only had it for about 6 months. I managed to get quarter-on-quarter sales for our top 4 in New Zealand, which is awesome. I pat myself on the back for that because I was like, this is incredible. But companies look out for that. You know what I mean? They see that and they go, wow, okay, maybe this is somebody that we do need to, be in business with, because he's obviously doing something right. And so, yes, I have been put into that high growth section, and now my suppliers are actually contacting me, telling me, do I want this? Do I want this? Before it even gets released. Now, I know of a lot of stuff. Yeah, I know a lot, but I know a lot of, I can't tell you specifically, but I do know a lot of stuff that is coming in 2021. I'm not allowed to say what it is, but I do know what it is, and I've already ordered it, which means that I will definitely be getting it. These are called secret items that the supplier, Mattel, Hasbro, that they've all told me are coming from, I might already know about what's in the next lot of Elite Series 81 and 82. I might already know that, but
that's awesome.
I can't lose my account for that, but I do know all that stuff. And so they did contact me about the Basics series, but I did know from what you've told me and what Nicholas has said, and maybe even Alex has touched on in a wee bit, that I don't, obviously the warehouse stock it. So, and apparently they're up to date, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think they're like 2 series behind, which is pretty damn good, to be fair.
What's the series that they're up to?
I want to say 111.
Okay, so I can currently, I think I got offered 114, so they're pretty good.
Yeah. I'll soon confirm it. Brand the Fiend Basic. We are okay. It's just going to show me the elites when I type basic. That's cool.
That's the warehouse.
Fiend Basic. Excuse my chunky keyboard. All right, well, that's not telling me absolutely anything I want to know at all. If anyone can confirm what basic series we're up to, that'd be great. Yeah, it is 111. Alex just confirmed.
I can get, but in January 2021, I can tell you about this one. Basic series 114. So I could have it in January 2021.
I know that if you wanted to get some basics, I'd definitely recommend getting Dakota Kai when she becomes available. She's actually a New Zealander wrestling in WWE. So
that
should sell out.
Maybe that. Well, see, and again, maybe that is something because that is something that obviously people would love because it's a New Zealander. So maybe it could be. See, so if they're up to 111, I can get 112, 113, and 114. 112 and 113 would be here in October. 114 would be here in January 2021. So that's pretty much as far forward.
Ruben just confirmed, that Dakota's in 115.
Oh, well, see, there we go. So that's probably going to be. These seem to be coming out every month.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
But because it's their cheap line, they're able to do it quite easily.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was February 2021. So the thing with basic figures, and my business is quite as a premium collectibles company, is that I would have to make the decision of whether or not I would bring them in on maybe a special basis. But and it goes back to that point where I said I want to get Lego in, so I have to start bringing in stuff like that, and Nerf guns, true. All that Play-Doh, like it is eventually going to have to come here but I'm just going to see how far she will, how far Lego let me go, before I can get it.
Well, I guess with the thing with you saying whether you want to keep it as more of a premium thing or like every now and then bring in something, that Dakota would be a pretty special one to bring in.
Yeah, well, since
she's New Zealander,
100%, definitely.
See, there's now an argument in the chat whether she's 115 or 116, but she's coming out at some point soon anyway.
He'll tell you what's happening.
yeah, but it's going to be exciting being able to see pretty much, actually the latest stuff coming out in New Zealand. Because it's with my photos from the other day. I think it's in this one. Sorry, we've lost our screen for a second.
Oh no, you're all right.
Oh, I got rid of them. Because myself, Ruben, and Alex were having a chat the other day, and just showing stuff that was on here. Hang on, let me find it. Be in the files here somewhere. So you got stuff like this here that you'd never ever would have dreamed of being in New Zealand in a store, which you'll be able to get your hands on at some point, providing they don't all of a sudden become Walmart or whatever exclusives.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's her. Correct me if I'm wrong, people in the comments. That's going to be her first ever single figure. That's not Dakota Kai, by the way.
No, I didn't think so. She didn't look like a New Zealander.
No. Hang on, let's see if we can confirm what series she's in. Alex might already be onto it because you're sending me photos. She is in 116. Basic series 116. Let's put her up on the screen here. Give me a second. I should have known we'd get to this eventually. I should have prepared this earlier. Okay. So these two are actually both New Zealanders and they're both in the same set. So you'd probably be all right getting both of those, to be fair. The one in the red is billed as a Australian though, because she's New Zealand born, Australian raised.
Right.
Whereas Dakota Kai, the one in the purple, is New Zealand era.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, hey,
And it,
I'm for it. More than happy to bring them in.
yeah. Alex says picking that you can't get ringside exclusives.
No.
Because that'd be a similar thing, right? You'd be better off. You'd have to get someone to buy it for you or buy it yourself, wait for it to arrive, and then mark it up.
I think with someone like Ringside, because they are an actual WWE store, they'll have contracts with these companies to be able to have actual exclusives. I mean, one day, hey, I'd love to have something Pop Guardian NZ because you can only get them from my store. That'd be amazing. But
right,
yeah, that is what unfortunately you're up against with that, is that because they're overseas, they'll be able to get those contracts a lot easier than over here, which means that there's just no chance of getting them. It's just like Walmart, Target, unless they honestly don't sell them, which they will because they're an actual WWE store, but unless they don't sell them and they sell them to suppliers to sell off to the rest of the world. So yeah, no.
Not sure if anyone's asked this yet, but are Ultimate Edition figures a possibility of getting in?
Are they from Mattel as well, I'm guessing?
I'd presume so. I'm sure Mattel has the exclusive rights for WWE full stop.
Then I should be able to. Let me just have a look, see. What wave would you say that up to?
What are we up to, fellas? Are we up to 4, I want to say?
I can get up to 3, which comes in September, and it's got Becky Lynch and John Cena.
Okay, yeah, that's what we're up to. We're up to 3.
That I can get those 2. What's this one?
Oh, no, sorry, we're up to wave 5 right now. But to be fair, that John Cena and Becky Lynch has been sold out overseas for ages, so if you can get those.
I can get those.
I mean, I know I'd be buying those off you.
Position wave 3 action figure. Oh, so those ones were actually Triple H and Finn Balor. Yeah, well, those first 2 that I said to you, I can get.
Okay.
Doesn't look like they've really stocked too much else of your.
For those that are in the chat right now, who would be looking to get those 2 if he was to get them? Becky Lynch and John Cena. Ultimate Edition. Oh, we have someone watching on Twitch again. That's funny. Because you wouldn't be able to get. I think we're in Series 5, which is up for pre-order right now, if I'm correct. You wouldn't be able to get the Charlotte Flair ringside exclusive or the Rock Ultimate Edition Amazon exclusive. No. So if you want either of those two guys, just go get them on pre-order when they become available. I think they already are available. But for the rest of it, who knows?
If a company ships worldwide, absolutely not. Just for anything in general, you won't. No one will be able to get it if they ship worldwide.
Yeah. No, that's cool. All right. Well, hey guys, I think we'll wrap it up here because I told Logan 1 hour and we're already at hour and a half. This always happens, no matter what. I mean, myself and Ruben, we said, "Oh, you're just a quick 2-hour video chat, 2-minute video chat, beats 2 hours." But anyway. Thank you, Logan, for jumping on and having a chat with us.
No worries.
Talking some business, getting to know you a bit more. Hopefully, people now know you more as just the guy that's getting us all these amazing figures.
Hope so.
As Pop Guardian NZ, if you need anything, that's even not just WWE related. I mean, I just brought a Funko protector, admittedly for my wrestling stuff, but anyway, there's all sorts you can get up on the site. Some of this is available by some. I think it's only AJ Styles right now. There's a few in this series still available. You got Io Shirai, you got Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. May even see these available very soon as well. Who knows? But regardless, just send Logan a message if there's something you really want. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to have a quick look and see if it's available. If enough of us message, then I'm sure he'll order it.
Yeah, like, hey, my inbox is literally always open, team. I'm, Matt would be attesting to it. I'm a very quick replier. My phone is literally always on my hip, and I always have time for you guys. Whether you've got questions about your order, questions about something that you want to get in, questions about previous stock, more than happy to answer your questions. So just flip me a message and I'll be onto it. Yeah, customers always come first, team.
Yeah, he's so responsive that he made me feel guilty, and I had to start messaging his Facebook Pop Guardian page because I felt like I was starting to spam his private too much.
Yeah, that's that people, they obviously see me posting all the time and they go into my direct inbox rather than, and sometimes I don't see them because they go into the filter. So you really are better off messaging the Pop Guardian page for your requests. And then if I say, hey, message me privately, then jump over to that. But yeah, go through the Facebook page because they all come through rather than through my personal where I don't see them.
Exactly. Then a year later, you look at your message requests and, oh shit, I could have gotten that.
I'm telling you, like I've gone in, 2 months later, and there's a message there about something that I wanted, but or something that someone wanted to buy off me, and it's just gone straight into filter, and I can't do anything about it.
That's Facebook for you.
Yeah, so definitely the Facebook page. I'm 100%. I'm responsive. I'm just as responsive on that than I am on my own messenger. It'll be 5 minutes max, unless it's late at night. When I'm wanting to sleep. Yeah. I think I've messaged you at like midnight or something. I'm usually not up till that, but Call of Duty calling, so I was like, I've got to jam with the boys. You know what I mean? Oh.
That's cool. Is there anything else you want to leave us on? Anything you want to promote? Anything you want to comment on?
No. Thank you for having me. It was great to be able to chat to you in person, and sort of in person, and also have the guys answering in questions and calling in questions, being able to answer them, and for them to be able to get to know me better. And yeah, I'm open book, guys. Cool. So yeah,
that's awesome. Well, thanks for that, Logan, and I'm sure we'll be seeing and hearing a lot more of you in the near future within the page.
Yeah,
thanks for jumping on, and for everyone else, thanks for jumping in, having a look. We're only on here for an hour and a half because of you guys, so thank you for that. But on that note, I'm going to let Logan get out of here, and I'm going to get out of here myself and go have some dinner. So I will see you guys later.
Thanks, team. See you later.